were there anything that sort of have you been able to sort of identify what is typically leading up to either your first instance or the relapses? So sort of what is going on around you or inside you that may sort of lead up to these moments or situations where you...
Yeah, there's so many, of course. But the three categories I use normally is that, first of all, I believe that some people have certain traits, personality traits, or some the things that we've learned from childhood or later in the years that contribute to ending up in burnout. One of them is maladaptive perfectionism, for instance. Like if you just don't stop and like keep going until you are convinced that something is perfect, that is an invitation. Being like overly idealistic and like extremely hardworking. Okay, that's something. Then you have work-related circumstances. And that includes everything from your supervisor, your boss, to the way work is organized in your institute, in your workplace, how much work you have, but also what your work means to the people you work with and to the world. And that's one aspect that's being focused on a lot. But then there's also a third aspect, that's the other life circumstances that we go through that are highly stressful or traumatic in some sense. So anything that creates a lot of stress response in your body, mind, your nervous system will slowly contribute over time to that snap moment. So that's why it is important to get coaching, get therapy, and without being afraid, really look into your life. Okay, well, how did I end up here? Very honestly with yourself, because it is not one thing, it is not 1 month, it is not 1 year usually that leads to burnout. It is like lifelong patterns coupled with extreme stress caused by the work environment and your personal response to it.
Just a question for clarification, because you said that it might be work related and related to what your work means to others. So what do you mean by that? Or did I misunderstood you?
Well, what your work means to others, it is again your perspective about what your work means. For example, I have clients who come and say, like, I work very hard, I do my work and I get paid for it, but I have the feeling that it doesn't mean anything to my supervisor or the outside world. Like I make something, but then it's like made for nothing. I get paid for it, but still doesn't mean anything. That kind of the loss of meaning, the loss of purpose in what you do, that is a big component to it as well. Because we talk about burnout a lot with regard to workload, excessive working and all. But no, you can end up in burnout by not working too hard, but via other routes